Says, hello, I am wondering how the definition of the Marian dogma will play in the preparation for the second coming. Is it church teaching that Mary will play an integral role in his second coming as she did in his first?
Mary has a very big place to play. In fact, the very first prophecy in the entire Bible talks about Mary. It's Genesis 3:15. At the very first prophecy in Scripture, Genesis 3:15, saying not only the son, not only the woman's son, but the woman would be involved in crushing the head of the serpent. This is the first prophecy in Scripture. Then you go through, for instance, in St. John, when you find Mary at the wedding of Cana, when you find Mary at the foot of the cross, what does Jesus call her? Not Mary, not mother. He calls her woman. Why? She is fulfilling the role of the woman in Genesis 3:15. And then you come to Revelation chapter 12. Now I realize there's a big debate here. Is this talking about Mary? Is this talking about the church? Or is this talking about Old Testament Israel? Just to make this quick, the answer is yes. Okay, she's an icon of the church. So we can speak of Mary and the church. There doesn't have to be a big debate or dichotomy here. But you see a woman, Genesis 3:15, the woman, clothed with the sun and the moon. And Genesis chapter 1 tells us that the sun and the moon are images in creation of rulership. So here's the Queen of Heaven, given the imagery from Genesis 1 of rulership, and that she is the target of this great red dragon along with her son. So here you have, at the end of redemptive history, Mary, the woman, Jesus, her seed, and the serpent all back together again. In fact, the best thing I ever read on this was Cardinal Newman has a little book entitled Booklet called Mary the Second Eve. And it pulled all of these imageries together from the Scripture, because you'll find women involved in the Old Testament like Judith, like Jael, these women involved in cutting off these heads of these generals of the enemies of Israel. And this was a prophetic preview of how Mary would be involved in basically disarming the serpent's power. So yes, Mary's there at the very beginning, Mary's there in the middle, and Mary will be there at the end. And if you just want something practical to do, if you believe we're living in hard times, just if any day, is pray the rosary.